Kay and I am here with another video for Use the Stuff, and I'm also playing along with Crystal Barrett's Off the Board, and I chose this amazing pin right here by Kaylee Wiles, who created it for a digital design team, or digitaldesign.com is what it is. I apologize about that for not knowing all the ins and outs of that, but I love picking out digital designs and just treating them as if they were sketches. It's one of my favorite things to do. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice and see what I get. I got a 1 and a 6. So 1 is my wood veneer. So I'll have to go and get wood veneer, and then metal dies or punches. I had not picked out either one of those. So let me go get those really super quick. All right, for my punch, I picked out this round tab punch by Stampin' Up. And for my wood veneer, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my box of basically my samples for the shop. Let's just call them that. These are my mock-ups that I do for the shop, and they all just get thrown in this box because that's how I roll. Because I'm not really sure exactly how I want them to work. So first thing I'm going to do is pull out this really cool circular number bit, and then I want to find another one because I'm actually doing a 2-page layout. So I'm going to just go ahead and flip through here semi-quick. It's not really quick, but I kind of know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for another round element in the same manner as what I've got going on. I'm just not sure if I have something like that. And then I remember, oh yes, I do. I have a couple of these semi-round little pieces. I also have this geared chain piece. And then I finally find what I'm looking for. There it is. All right, so I might go and look and see if there's anything else real quick. And no, I'm to the point where once I find the right element, I'm going to stop looking. So, all right, let's put that box away and decide what is for my number 6s. Okay. So for number 6, I have brads or flare, and I also have embossing folders or powder. Now I'm using these wood planks that I created with another embossing folder for another layout. So I'm going to cheat. Yes, I am. For my brads and flare, I have my little jar or my little tin, or well, it's not even a tin. It's a ceramic little dish that is full of mostly my mind's eye flare that were all on those really cool cards and stuff. And I just dumped them all in here, flattened the backs, and I dig through here first before going through another bin that has a ton of flare. But the flare in the other bins aren't decorative like this. They actually are just colorful flare. So I'm not as excited about those as I am this jar. Now I have to tell you guys, I have used quite a bit of this jar. No, it's not a jar, it's a dish. I've used quite a bit of it, considering how much I started out with, but I don't think I ever showed it to you guys. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this scrap piece of paper and punch out a couple. I don't know how many I'm going to need or use, but I'll punch out a couple and see what makes it on the layout. Actually, they might not even make it on the layout. I think I forget about them. We'll see. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do, I've already done my first thing, is I'm going to spray these amazing little chipboard pieces. Now these are the leftover frame pieces that I had from a square frame by Dusty Attic. I think it was just called Geared Frame. And I'm going to spray it with this gorgeous bronze color by Shimmers. And I still, to this day, don't remember the name of that color. Oh my goodness. But it is the new Color Splash bronze color. And I love the hint of oxidation that it has in it. Okay, so I'm also going to take this Close to My Heart wood grain that is from the Urban Collection. It is the reprint. I believe this is from 2019. It might have been from 2021. I don't really remember, and I don't know if I have the branding strips to it anymore. But if I do, I'll take a look and see. Not that it matters, but it was the reprint, and now the reprint's already gone per se as well. So it was from the original was a few years back, and then the reprint was a couple years back. Does that make sense? And then this paper here is what is that? Is that Kaisercraft? No, that actually looked like it was from Minte Garage. Yes, it does. Flip it over and let me show me. Show me. Okay, anyways, it looks like Mente Garage, and so I'm going to use that to mat my photos. And then I have another piece of paper that is a green and blue plaid that I will be using on this layout as well, which is another close to my heart back in the day paper, boy paper that they came out with that I have a hard time using because I really love the color combination. They need to come out with that color combination again. It is fantabulous. Okay, so I'm just going to divide and conquer, make sure that I have enough bits and pieces to recreate this layout this design that I found on Pinterest twice. And the first one is going to be similar to, but not exact, because clearly I shrunk it to an 8.5 by 11. So it's going to go the same direction as the digital design is. And then the other one, I'm flipping it. So I just took the design and, rotated it once to the left. And now the film strip is down at the bottom, and so on and so forth. I really do want to start using up my film strips because I felt like I was hoarding them. And to be honest, I do not need to hoard them because now I realize that 49 Market, it's their thing, and they're going to come out with them at least for a couple collections. And so I do not really feel the need to hoard these anymore now that I know that they're going to be around for a little bit. And I'm okay with a little bit. I did go a little overboard on the black and gray ones that they just came out with in the Gardenia collection, but they're black and gray. That's what film strips are supposed to look like. So I went a little overboard on those ones. But as far as all these colorful ones, I'm just having fun with them, and I'm trying to use them up. All right, pulled out and dusted off I almost said Maggie Holmes. That's not Maggie Holmes. It is Martha Stewart border punch, and went ahead and punched out this leftover Kaiser Craft journaling paper. That is another scrap that I'm going to go ahead and use. I also have a Heidi Swap journaling box that has gold around it, so I need to incorporate some more gold somehow, which I thought I was going to take my wood veneer and actually spray it gold, and then I decided, no, that's too much, just too much. And then these frames, I didn't really like the fact that I could see the wood grain through the frames, so that's where I'm going to incorporate my embossed slats because it's, a different wood grain. So why not? I'm trying to figure out how to make them work. So I just grabbed this little scrap right here, and I'm going to glue my frame to this scrap, and then I will glue my slats to the scrap. Yes, lots of gluing to the said scrap. But I do like this a lot better as opposed to just trying to make all those slats actually stay magically while I manipulate them on the layout. So I figured this is going to save me a lot of headache. All right. So I'm going to do that twice, but I won't make you guys watch me do it for the other layout. And for some reason, I don't know why, I ended up building the 8.5 by 11 layout all by itself as if it was a separate page, and then went back and built the 12 by 12 layout. So it is a little longer of a video. I don't know why I did it this way. It just seemed to be like I was in the zone and I was going to just keep creating with this layout. So I did, and I don't know why. Okay, so now what I'm doing is the other side of that frame, and I decided not to use two frames for this layout. I am actually going to just cut the frame in half and use both sides because it's kind of a short, squatty layout. So I wanted a short, squatty design, even though the original was, a little bit longer, a little bit fuller for the 12 by 12. So moving on, I've got a geared chipboard piece for each side of my layout, so one per layout, and then I have a wood veneer for one per layout. I have a punched border, one per layout, and then I have a film strip, one per layout. I do have a tab, but I think I only end up using it on the 8.5 and 11, 8.5 by 11 layouts. And then I have all of these really cool tickets that were torn apart from other layouts. So I know I've used them on two previous layouts, and I just had a bunch of loose ones hanging out here in a pile, and I thought, you know what, that's like the perfect green that's in my plaid. So let's bring that in as well. And I don't think I end up using the dark green. I think I end up taking that out, even though I feel like it's in my pattern paper too. And this is when I decided to bring in some blue. I thought, you know what, I've got a lot of green going on. I need to bring in some of that blue. Not only because my husband's truck is blue, but because I love the blue element, and I only brought it in for the photo mat, which you hardly get to see, especially when I'm done actually edge distressing the photo mat. So I brought in all these blue butterflies that I had used in my Mente Garage Kit Conspiracy Kit. So I'm going to try to use up some of these blue butterflies. Then I went ahead and I brought in some washi tape because I needed another small pattern because that's what the digital sketch used. I wanted to bring in a small pattern on top of my scallop. And so I brought in the turquoise and some blues, and then I found a turquoise and blue stripe. Go me. I love that. I actually am pretty happy with having my washi tape now sorted in my color bins because I can just go for the color that I'm looking for instead of seeing all my washi all at the same time, which is how I had it originally. I had them all on a rod. And so if I wanted the 12th one in, I have to remove the other 11 to get to the number 12. And 9 times out of 10, I was like, nah, I don't need washi that bad. That's too much work. But now they're loose in my color bins because I had plenty of space in my color bins. I don't know how. I think I got rid of some ribbon or something. But anyways, I did end up taking out or adding those in there. And I found all of these very, very quickly in my blue bin and my teal bin because teal is a color all on its own. I don't know what else to call it. So if it's a shade of teal, it ended up in that bin. Which also left me a lot of room in my green and my blue bin when I couldn't decide which teal it was. I know. Decisions, oh my. So because I built the 2 frames separately, I accidentally reversed the order, so I had to fix the order. I cut my film strip in half so I could stretch it underneath my my photo mats that I've got going on. And so far, I love what I've got. I love what I see happening here. And so anyways, I'm going to go ahead and commit to some of these elements. There are some other elements where I cannot commit because I want to do some tucking and whatnot. Like I have the chipboard piece I haven't committed to, the wood piece I haven't committed to, and all that good jazz. So, and then this is what I'm going to tuck in is all of these film strips. And for the clock, or it's not really a clock, it's more like, just a burst of funness. I don't even know what it's called in my shop. But for this piece, I wasn't too sure if I liked the fact that the tickets were sticking out or should I cover them. I'm still trying to figure that out, but so far I like the way that it looks. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, let's commit, but I'm not going to use 3 here. I'm only going to use 2 and just tuck them barely enough to where they do not show behind. So I decided to do that. And then I also did the same with the the other ticket. I tore the upper portion off. And then this one ticket here, I wanted to go behind my washi border strip instead of the chipboard piece, and then the other one is going to go underneath. So these are just pictures of us. We just left Stokes Castle, which is in Austin, Nevada, not Texas. I said it right this time. It is in Austin, Nevada, and this is the drive down. And for me, I absolutely, because I live in a desert, you guys, clearly you can tell these are not typical trees. There's nothing pretty about it. They're dull, dingy, and the green is like a very dull green. And I love it though. I still love it. And I love the fact that this road was windy and lined with all of these beautiful trees. And so I snapped a couple pictures and I did the exact same thing going up to Stokes Castle. So it seems like I've done these pictures before because it is the same scenery. But one is going to the castle and the other one is coming from the castle. So different directions. I know it's tomato. I understand that. But To be honest, it was just something fun, and I wanted to document it because I do love going through roads that have this type of, greenery around it, even though this isn't very green. So I also went ahead and pulled all the prongs off of my brads and put pop dots behind them and put them on my layout. But because I have the tendency to pull the prong off one brad at a time and then put the foam dot and then glue it down, I did not want to sit there and edit through each time that I added a brad. So I went ahead and took all that out and just showed you guys where I went ahead and poked a hole in my layout to add the smaller brads, because pulling those prongs off and trying to get a foam dot in there, it's just not worth it. And then I am taking, I think this is Dina Wakley in white. Yes, it is. So it's Dina Wakley's white gloss acrylic spray, and I'm just adding it around my cluster. I did not add it throughout the entire layout. I just wanted it to look like little sprinkles around my cluster. All right, so also behind the scenes, I went ahead and filled in my frame with my wood slats. I punched out my Martha Stewart. You already saw me add the washi to both borders at the same time. I did all that prep work because you've seen it once. It was done the exact same way. Ta-da, all done. Because my what's it called? Second photo mat, or my plaid paper, is larger than what is in the sketch. I went ahead and my frame wasn't, or my film strip wasn't long enough, so I went ahead and chopped it in half. Actually, it doesn't, from what little is showing, I really didn't need to chop it in half, but like I said earlier, I am trying to use my photo mats or my frames as opposed to try to hoard them. I do love adding in all these little butterflies here and there. You only get to see half a wing. I finally feel like I'm using them up and they are coming out of my stash. It feels so good. And I love this pop of blue. It is just a beautiful blue. And even though it's an obnoxious butterfly, and I say obnoxious because I got 600 of them, you guys, and I'm exaggerating, yes, but I got so many butterflies that I just don't know what to do with them. And so I'm just adding them in for pops of color. Is it an outdoor layout? Pretty much it is. So butterflies can fly outside. And I say that, you guys, because I got a comment the other day on my restaurant photo, which was an indoor-outdoor restaurant. And somebody made a comment that they did not associate the butterflies at a restaurant, which I get it. And that's fine. But for me, the restaurant was basically outside. It was inside outside. It was like being in your garage with the door open. You're outside, but you're inside. Does that make sense? And so to me, the butterflies made sense because A, I wanted to use the color, and B, the butterflies could fly inside the restaurant if they wanted to. So that's why I constantly say, is this an outdoor layout so I can use butterflies? But it doesn't matter. It's the color that I'm going for on these. Oh, and I do end up using the darker tickets. I wasn't sure if I did or not. Yeah, yay me. So I am just going to intermix the dark tickets and the light green tickets. And then, of course, I'm still not committing my clock or my chipboard piece because I have to use liquid glue to glue those down. And then it would be a little bit harder to tuck. But I did have to back my clock because there's just so much going on with my clock. So I just took another scrap that I had in my little bin and backed it with whatever it was, to fill in the gap so I can do a lot of tucking behind it. If you have too many elements being tucked behind an open space, you kind of lose what that element is and why does it have an open space if you're going to be tucking a bunch of stuff underneath it. So, and I just couldn't avoid it. So yes, backing it was the best option. I went ahead and I tore my my journaling strip in half because I did not leave room for it. I knew I wanted to put it there, but I did not leave any room for it. And I know they're not straight across, but that's okay. One just says date, so I'm going to use a roller date stamp and have it go up and down the layout instead of reading like a book. I'm going to have it go up and down. And then the other one just says place or something, location, and something else. I'm not really sure. Or maybe one, I don't know, maybe it says date, location, and description or something on the one side. Oh, my story, our story, something. And then the other one just says number something. I don't know. I have no idea why I wanted to keep both of them, but I like it. I'm going to go ahead and add my smaller brads. Now, these aren't small brads. They're not like microscopic brads, but they are smaller than the decorative brads that are in the little dish that I have on my desk. So I went ahead and poked those through the whole layout. I'm going to lastly add my Dina Wakley gloss spray in white around my clusters. And I'm going to pick a title that just says all good. It is also Heidi Swap from gosh knows when. I actually think it comes from like Wolfpack. I'm not really sure, you guys. But it is one of those where you could take the paper off the top and add something to that foam. I don't do that. It looks like a hot mess when I do it. Hey, look, I did add that tab to this one too. I didn't know I did that. All right, you guys, so here are my close-ups. I want to thank you so very much for hanging out with me for such a long video. I do apologize about them being so long, but I did, like I said, I did both of them from start to finish, like one layout at a time, and I don't know why I did that. I'm not really sure. So here are the close-ups. You can see all of that gloss spray that I splattered all over. You can see how I incorporated those beautiful blue butterflies, and it just added that beautiful pop of blue that I felt like my layout was missing. I'm loving tucking these butterflies in, whether you see the full thing or not, or whether everything's flying off the page, or I don't know. I just really like doing this. And, this is a couple layouts ago. All right, Kaylee, thank you so much for allowing me to lift your digital design. Don't forget to check out the playlist down below for Off the Board. Don't forget to use the stuff and check out Janet Fritz to see how she is using her stuff. And thank you so much. I'll check y'all later.